One of the things I've realized is that there's so many chemicals in laundry detergent and the soaps out there. So I either make it myself, it's actually pretty easy, or I use migraine fills. If you go to chantelrayway.com/soap, I'll give you my free recipe for laundry soap. Or if you just feel like buying one that's really clean and not filled with tons of chemicals, you can get it there, chantelrayway.com/soap. Hey guys, I'm on my way home from being on national TV talking about intermittent fasting, and I'm answering the question, does intermittent fasting help you lose weight? Maybe you guys have tried intermittent fasting and lost some weight, but now you might just be stuck in a rut where you're not losing as much as you want. Well, I've interviewed over 1,000 thin eaters, and I've learned that intermittent fasting is just one of the tools they use. But there's so many more. There's 9 other principles that they use to stay thin. To get out of your rut, click here to watch this free video. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode, and I have Aimee Carlson here with us, and she is going to talk all about hidden toxins. We want to renew our health by removing hidden toxins. So Aimee, welcome. Tell listeners a little bit about yourself. And I love your picture on your website. You are called the Toxin Terminator. So tell people a little more about this.
Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm so excited to share with all of your listeners today. So I am known as the Toxin Terminator. I have my own podcast, and I started about 7 years ago myself learning how my chronic illness was affected by my everyday products, and I had no idea. So that's what I teach on is we can actually take control of our health. We can renew our energy, our focus. We can even remove chronic illness from our lives just by simply looking at the everyday products we're using in our homes that most of us have no idea are poisoning us. And I've dedicated my purpose in life to sharing this message with others. And I'm currently writing a book on that topic right now. So I'm super excited to share.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of the major toxins that you currently are, kind of like, if you had to give your top 5, like you'd say, here's the biggest culprits of toxins that you kind of got rid of, what would they be?
Sure. So the 7 years I've been doing this, I have developed what I call the 5 pillars of living a toxin-free lifestyle. So you're picking number 5 is perfect to fall into this. So the 5 pillars, we think about the way our bodies are exposed are through air, through water, food, through absorption, and also mental. Mental is a huge impact on our overall health and well-being as well. So if we look at, for instance, air, fragrance would be my number 1 toxin in the air pillar. Fragrance is synthetic. We don't know what ingredients that label means. It can be, I think there's a slew of over 3,173 ingredients when that word fragrance is used that they can pick from. And it's protected by a proprietary trade secret, right? So think about it. Polo doesn't want to give you all the ingredients in their fragrance because then anybody could go out and make that fragrance themselves. And so I understand the protection there. But for us, we don't know exactly what is all being consumed in that one word. So when we think about fragrance, I always post up, I have a great graphic that shows. Think about things like candles, our laundry detergents, even our cleaning products have fragrance in them, as well as our personal care products. I was the biggest culprit of going to Bath and Body Works, right? They always have those sales with the wonderful
I can't
lotion.
even walk into those stores because, the thing is once you get yourself to the place where you have removed those toxins, then I believe it really affects you so much more because you've gotten rid of it. And I will tell you, literally, I had a guy come to my office a couple weeks ago, and he was wearing a shirt that had so much laundry detergent. I felt like he literally threw Tide in my face. Like I had to take a step back,
Yes.
I literally had to be like, whoa, this is such a strong scent.
It really is. And when you're in the midst of it, sometimes we don't understand that is so offensive and it's so harmful to the body. But when you get out of it, like you said, you notice it. We were at the bank when we first got down to Arizona this season. We had to go in and sign some papers. And I instantly had a headache when I walked into the bank and sat down with the banker. And I said, there is something that is a synthetic fragrance. Where is it? And it was a plug-in down right by the chairs that we were seated at. And I could not. I said, give me the papers, show me where I need to sign. I've got to get out of here. It was that bad. I just couldn't be in there. And so I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
I have a gym that I go to that I love, and they have these fragrances that they plug in. I really need to email the owner of the gym and tell her, because it's so strong of a smell that I have to unplug them and then I can work out, because that's how bad it is. I'm super sensitive though. So I can't, because I've taken all that stuff completely out. Or like if you go into a car, I went into a car of someone who had one of those plugins in there, and it was right in front of my face. And so it was like blowing. And I had to like kind of move the thing this way and then literally roll down the window, because I started immediately getting a headache.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. People, if you don't know whether you are sensitive to a synthetic smell, think about how many days of the week do you suffer from a headache? How many days a week do you suffer from lack of focus, lack of attention? Are you having disruptions in your sleep? These are all things that fragrance could be the culprit in your life.
Absolutely. Okay. So the first one would be air. You would say fragrance. So but when you're talking about them, so I would love for you to talk about kind of the alternatives that you do. So for me, I use a laundry detergent that I buy from Whole Foods that is only scented with essential oils.
Okay.
So talk about, so like a candle, like are there any candles that you burn, and where do you get them from, and what are you making sure is in them?
Okay. So, number one, when we go out and buy our products in the stores, we want to make sure that we're buying products that are fragrance free. So when a product is unscented, for instance, it is still the fragranced product that's being chemically altered to mask the scent in there. So we want to make sure, if we're going out and buying products from the stores, that we're buying products that say fragrance free. Now, in the US, there's a whole lot. Essential oils, especially over, say, the last 10 years, have become more mainstream. You're even finding essential oils in Walmart, of all places. So just because a product says that it's infused with essential oils, how good of quality is that essential oil? How much filler is in that essential oil versus, the pure product that it should be? It's probably going to be better than the fragrance. So I don't want to take that away from people, but we want to watch that quality as well. So, if it's saying, because Glade and Febreze is now saying that they're infused with essential oil. So don't let that marketing tactic necessarily be the final decision maker. I can sure teach you how to read a label, so if it's natural, just like natural flavoring in food is not necessarily always the best option. Natural scents and natural fragrance, read it and see, is it just an essential oil only? And make sure that is the case. Because as you can see behind me, I use all kinds of essential oils, and I don't use candles in my home anymore. So if you're wanting to have a nice aroma in the home, I use a diffuser. And I don't know if you can see the one I have going behind me or not.
That's the exact one I have from Young Living. Yeah, it's my favorite. I have actually I have 4 of those in my house.
I have
my
one
favorite
in every
one.
room. Yep, one in every room. Because not only am I getting a nice, pleasing aroma, like for instance, this has got jasmine, eucalyptus, peppermint, and what else did I put in there? Bergamot are going in there. And it's just such a nice anti-anxiety, relaxing, plus it's opening up the airway. It does things for you just besides smelling good. And that's why I like to diffuse the essential oils.
Love that. Yeah, I don't use candles either. I've gotten rid of all of my candles and just use the diffusers.
Yeah.
And then I have an air filter that I like that is like a water air filter. I don't know if you've seen those, that you just have straight water and it filters the air, and you can put essential oils in those as well.
Love it. Love it. So, keeping the home clean and fresh and, just doing the job to eliminate the toxins, in the first place. And obviously we can't get rid of all of them, but we sure can do a good job in eliminating the more knowledge we have, the better job we're going to do. Right.
Yes. And I have my own DIY do-it-yourself laundry detergent soap that I can make. And so if you have the gunks to do it, go to chantelrayway.com/soap and you can get my link for
Love it.
the free, recipe on how to make it yourself if you feel like you want to.
Love it. When we're talking fragrance, one of the biggest culprits on fragrance too is dryer sheets, right? They're just full of toxins. So here's a really helpful tip for those of you who do like to make your own things. Take a 8-ounce spray bottle, add about 10 to 15 drops of your favorite essential oil, maybe a lavender if you want calming, or a citrus fresh if you want uplifting. Fill the rest of it with water, a little pinch of Epsom salt, because that helps keep the oil and the water emulsified together. Give it a shake and spray it on wool balls and add it to your dryer. Now you've got some really nice scented towels and sheets and clothes without all the harmful chemicals.
Okay, great. So anything else you can think of for air? So we've talked about the laundry detergent. We've talked about candles. We've talked about just fragrance in general. So let's talk about fragrance. So when you are, let's just say you want to have perfume, are there any perfumes that you found that are made with just essential oils? Or do you just say, I'm just going to pick my own little blend and put some carrier oil and put your own essential oils together and make your own perfume?
That's a great question, Chantel. For the longest time, there wasn't really a essential oil perfume that I knew of, and I've only been doing this for 7 years, so maybe there was behind. But I would do things like making roller bottles, and I would add in essential oils and stones, gems in there. And just kind of make my own fragrance to roll on my wrist or, on my neck for a fragrance. And you can select.
Can you give us like your favorite? It's funny because I actually bought it from Young Living, and it was someone that said, this is a wonderful, it was some kind of rose. They said, this is the best one for perfume. And I wish I could remember what it was. And it stunk so bad. And it was so lady something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Lady Scleral.
Lady Scarroll. It was like $50 some. I was so furious. I'm like, I spent $50 because I was like, oh, good. Like, I'll do this essential oil. She was like, this is the best for perfume. I got it home, spent $50, and that one stinks. I'm sorry, but that one, in my opinion, smells so bad.
And here's the thing with essential oils. When I first started with oils, I thought they all stunk. I really did. I liked peppermint and I liked the citrus ones, but boy, oh boy. But there are some really good ones. And do you know Melissa Pepping at all? She's a Royal Crown Diamond within the Young Living world, but she's created so many different empires. And one of hers is she has created a perfumery. So she has books out. So if you want to actually create perfumes, you can. And she gives you the recipes on what to add. So, rose, jasmine, if you like a floral scent, are great to add in. If you like more of a woodsy scent, cedar woods, Palo Santo, are great ones to add, but you're going to have layers to it, because if you think about perfumes, if we know anything about them, there's, high notes, low notes, and medium notes. And, so high notes are the ones like a citrus oil that are going to smell real good immediately, but go away real quickly. Medium notes are going to kind of stick around. You'll smell them for several hours, and then the low notes stay for a very long time. And those are all your woodsy scents, the ones that come from trees, roots, plants, that type of thing. And so you have to use a combination and really and she has a whole book. I can grab it here, and they're fantastic. But I always tell people, make it easy on yourself and just get something you like. I tend to like more of a clean scent.
Me too.
So, I don't want real florally. I don't want real musky either. I like that right in between. So I do a combination of like citruses and the florals. When I put those two together, they're fantastic. That's what I like.
So if you were going to because it sounds like we have the same taste. So if you give me a couple different ones that I would blend together to make an amazing perfume.
Oh, well, like what I'm diffusing right now smells absolutely fantastic. So jasmine is wonderful, and you need seriously one drop. It's that potent, and if you smell jasmine on its own, you're going to be knocked out. It's very, very strong. So that's why I like to put it in a diffuser or a blend. So jasmine, eucalyptus, lime, and bergamot are absolutely fantastic together.
Awesome. Okay, I do want to talk about, the whole idea of Wi-Fi, because everything's going on. I don't know if you've seen, I just watched a crazy video, and if you want to go see it, you have to go quickly to go find it, because apparently, because it's so controversial,
they're getting taken down.
They're taken down, but it's David Icke, Icke, and it's called The Truth Behind the Coronavirus Pandemic, COVID-19 Lockdown and the Economy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And his whole thing is all about the Wi-Fi and everything, the 5G. Are you kind of familiar with what's going on? Can you talk about that at all, with what's going on with 5G?
Well, I'm not familiar. I've heard the rumors. I've heard the talks and the conversations about, Wuhan also being kind of the epicenter of the whole 5G implementation. There are so many science-backed studies on 5G that it is so, so bad for us. As humans, it's horrible for us, and I'm not well versed in it, but I can tell you that Wi-Fi period within the home is causing harm to our bodies, and so we need to make sure that we are eliminating our exposures the best that we can. And there's lots of different ways, to do that. But some of the symptoms of 5G are Wi-Fi, the EMF, the electronic magnetic frequencies are the neurological things, the headaches, the insomnia, the lack of focus, all those things that our body says, hey, we're in toxic overload. Same thing that we're experiencing. It can actually change the DNA of our cells. It is that strong. It is that powerful. It is that intense of what we want to pay attention to, of what's happening to our bodies, because we're energy, right? Our whole body is energy. And so if we're emitting energy through the body, it is going to change our body. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy to me. And some ways forward, internet, that type of thing, Wi-Fi is good and helps us to be connected with each other and helps make things easier for us. But are we doing it at the risk of us being an unhealthy society? It's just like we've depleted everything out of our soil and water systems. Our waterways are so damaged and polluted that it's crazy. And our food system, even if we are growing our own food, the soil is so depleted as well. 5G is just another one of those ways that we are really harming ourselves in the name of modern, conveniences, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on, because the second one, so air, we've kind of really talked about. Let's talk about water. So what is some of the toxins we're seeing in our water, and what can we do about it?
Sure. So the big ones are your heavy metals. There's lots and lots of different metals that are in our water sources. Pesticides are coming into our waterways and in our water supplies. We also have things like chloramines, and these are ways that they're sanitizing the water, but they are also left within the water and causing damage to our bodies. In fluoride. Many cities are actually banning fluoride from the water, but there's still a lot of waterways that have fluoride in it, and fluoride is a known neurotoxin to our bodies. So lots of different avenues and things that are coming into the water. Oh, also pharmaceuticals. Many pharmaceuticals are getting washed down. People flush them down the toilet. They throw them out in that way. And these don't go away. They're in the water sources forever. So what do we do about it, right? We know there's contaminants in there. So a whole house system is the best filtration system that we can do, because we've got clean drinking water, we've got clean water for cleaning our clothes and our dishes, and we have clean water for cleaning ourselves, where it's our skin, the biggest organ of our body. But a lot of people can't, or they live in a temporary housing. Maybe they're in an apartment or something that's not permanent, and they don't want to spend that kind of money. So if that's the case, then I would at least filter your drinking water by putting, one of those pitchers or an under sink mount, and then getting shower head filters. And reverse osmosis is your best filtering mechanism to remove the most contaminants that are in our water source.
Hey guys, one of the things that will take your weight loss to the next level is coaching. You can either work one-on-one with me or one of our certified private coaches. If you'd like, you can schedule your free call. It's a 10-minute strategy call just to see if coaching is going to really take you to the next level. The other thing is listening to the audiobook. Listening to the audiobook and getting the video course that I've done, people are seeing dramatic results. If you just listen to the audiobook 30 minutes a day over and over and over again and get the video course, go to chantelrayway.com and check out the video course. You won't be sorry you did. Hey guys, I want to tell you about a great product that you absolutely cannot live without, and it's called Digest Aid. When you're stressed, you might not be able to produce as much stomach acid. And if you're eating a little more right now and you're stressed, you need help to digest your food. My Digest Aid that I created has enzymes that are capable of doing just that. It has both betaine HCl, not just HCl, but an enzyme pepsin that helps your body digest your food, which is really unique. And right now, all of our products are 30% off. Go to chantelrayway.com, click on store, and get yours for 30% off. Just use the promo code PODCAST. I don't know about you guys, but I've been doing a ton of cooking lately, and I've been having so many new recipes. Go to chantelrayway.com/free recipes to get the best kale dressing recipe you'll ever have, the dairy-free artichoke dip that you will love for completely free. I also want to give you my entire free smoothie book that has the best smoothies. One of the things that can help you lose weight is just to replace one of your meals with an amazing smoothie. So if you're eating 2 meals, just make one of them a smoothie. You can get my free amazing recipe book at chantelrayway.com/free recipe. And our protein shakes are amazing as well. And right now they're 30% off. Go to chantelrayway.com, click on store, and use podcast for the 30% off your protein shake. It's great. I love, if you go onto my site on chantelrayway.com, I have a link for a Berkey water machine.
Yes.
So if you don't have that, the Berkey water machine is amazing. And you want to make sure you get it with the fluoride. There's different filters that they have, but make sure you get the one that includes the fluoride to get rid of the fluoride in there.
Right. And there's a combination of, there's reverse osmosis, there's charcoal, there is kind of a UV light type mechanism. They're running it over ultraviolet light to remove a lot of contaminants. There's each filtering mechanism does a little bit of a different job in removing what it's removing out of the water source. So, and the Berkey is fantastic. And the Berkey actually comes in many different ways. They have a whole house system down to even a portable filtering system. In fact, one of the gals that I do a lot of travel with has one. So when we go to hotels, we can take the tap water, put it right in there and know that we're drinking clean water after it's filtered.
Wow, I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that. So you're saying Berkey actually has a whole water filtration system?
Yes, they do. A whole house. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I have to look into that right away.
Yep. So they have whole house. They have just, countertop ones that you can use to filter gallons at a time. And they even have smaller ones as well that are portable that you can take with you on the go.
That is awesome. Okay, so let's move to absorption because you said that's another big one, right? So
that's a big one, right? So, obviously some of these things that we've already talked about is being absorbed through the skin, right? Water, when we have to wash, right? And we have to wear clothes when we go outside. Well, most of us do anyway. But absorption, we want to think about our personal care and our makeup products. So we have things in those products like parabens, phthalates, 1,4-dioxane, which is a byproduct coming from sodium lauryl sulfate. We have, those are kind of the key ones to stick away from. And we are all seeing more and more products on the shelves today that say paraben-free, fragrance-free, phthalate-free. And there's a reason behind that because these ingredients are causing cancer. If there is a study out there, and I can't tell you which one specifically it is, that they tested breast cancer tumors and every single tumor had parabens in it, every single one of them. So this is something that is an endocrine disruptor, and especially for us women, not something we want to be putting on our bodies. And if you think about it, parabens are in our shampoo, our conditioner, our face wash, our toothpaste, our moisturizers, our lotions. So you're not just getting it through one product, you're getting it through multiple sources. And then that's how the bioaccumulation starts. And you know what that is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the crazy part is where one company decides this is a safe level of exposure to us, whatever that is, then we are using it in multiple sources. So it's no longer safe and it becomes, an overload in our system. And then we have the symptoms that we get because of the toxin buildup.
Yeah. And I actually started so for me, I feel like I really did a good job of getting rid of bad stuff on my laundry detergent and my cleaning products. The one area that I did not give up was my makeup because I just love makeup. I'm kind of one of, how some people kind of have like a fetish for shoes or a fetish for, they love, sneakers or who knows what. But for me personally, I just loved makeup. I just would go to Sephora or Ulta. And so now I actually started selling the beauty counter makeup. And so I'll add my link in the show notes there for anyone who wants to change their makeup because the beauty counter is a really good line that doesn't have all of those toxins in there.
Right. And Beauty Counter does a fantastic job. Not only do they, and they are actually EWG certified. One of the only makeup companies that EWG gives their stamp of approval on. And Beauty Counter also does a ton of legislative support in law and bill creation to protect us consumers. So I really love the heart and soul of that company. They have fantastic products, and theirs are mostly all liquid based, as far as foundations are concerned. They've got a great sunscreen as well that I like and have used. And I only use their foundation. I haven't used any of their other stuff. And then Young Living also has their Savvy Minerals, which is a powder base. So if you are like a mineral foundation, that might be an option for you as well. And I've used both of them. And then and I'm a makeup kind of person. Most days I don't wear a lot of it, but I do like to put the makeup on. And so I use kind of a combination of both.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, what other tips do you have for people that they could, practical ways that they can get toxins out of in their house?
Sure. So we talked about, our personal care products. We've talked about, air, water, all of that. So let's talk about, I think so much information is out there on what the toxins are. Let's now talk about what can we do for our bodies. Say, all right, I'm ready to start on this journey. I'm ready to get toxin free in my home. So we told you what to avoid. There's ways that you can help your body detox. And so I want to share with you a couple tips real quick on that. Number one is making sure you're drinking lots of water. Water running through us because our kidneys and livers do a great job of detoxing the body. So we want to make sure that we are passing everything through. Gut health is super important. If you are not having a bowel movement at least once or twice a day is optimal, then you're not passing toxins through your body. It's actually fermenting inside that body. So we want to make sure that we get everything moving. So your bowel movements are a good indication of your gut health. And I'm sure Chantel has got lots to say on gut health and can give you ideas on where to go with that. The other thing is sweating. We need to sweat. Our skin is our biggest organ. So if we can sweat, we are going to expel those toxins and really help jumpstart and make ourselves feel better. Two ways you can do that. If you don't have access to an infrared sauna, which many people do not, get in the bathtub. Do an Epsom salt. So you'll combine 1 cup of Epsom salts and 1 cup of baking soda together. You want to sit in there for at least 20 minutes, as hot as you can stand it. And trust me, you will sweat. And then when you get out of the bathtub, go rinse yourself off in the shower because you've just expelled tons of toxins out of your skin. That's a real easy way to really expel toxins. You can do that now as you're getting in on your toxin-free lifestyle journey. If you feel like you're coming down with something, that bath is fantastic to take to help kickstart your immune system.
I take a hot bath, like when I get out of the bath, I take a hot bath with Epsom salt every single night. And literally when I get out, like my legs are hot, like practically red. They're like hot pink because I've taken such a hot bath. But what I don't do is I don't take a shower after that. So I need to add that into it.
Take a shower and add baking soda. If you think you're hot, which is the Epsom salts, the baking soda helps really promote the sweating, and you'll really kick out
How much baking soda should you add?
Equal parts. So 1 cup Epsom salts to 1 cup baking soda. You just mix equal parts of that.
Okay, gotcha. And then how often I have an infrared sauna at my house, which I love. I feel like I'm only doing it about 2 times a week. I'd really love to get in there every day. What do you suggest for people every day?
I do it at least for every other day, and depending on what's going on with me. For instance, right now, I have been over at my parents' home. My mom just went through a transplant surgery, so I have been caretaking with them. Their house is full of toxins. They don't subscribe to my lifestyle in the least, and so when I leave their home, I'm immediately peeling off my clothes and in the infrared sauna. And I will do it every day for the first 3 days that I'm back, just to help jumpstart my body and get rid of the stuff. So at least 3 to 4 times a week, every other day is ultimate. But get in there as many times as you can. Another thing that you can do too is dry brushing. Have you done that?
I have one, and I think I've probably done it like a couple times. I'm not good at it. Let's put it that way. I have it, but I haven't done it.
It's so hard. We have all these things that we want to do. It's just creating those
It's creating
habits.
the habit. It's creating the habit, because here's the thing. I don't even think about it. I take that hot bath with Epsom salt. Now I'm going to add the baking soda. I do it every night. I don't even think about it. It's just part of my routine.
Yeah.
I've got to add the infrared and I'm doing it 2 to 3 times a week, if that, on the sauna. And I do it best when I have a friend. So I think the reason I've kind of gotten out of the habit is because I'm not, everything with COVID-19, I'm not having friends come over as much. So,
well, I love my infrared time because that's 30 minutes of, I just sit with spa music going. I fill my sauna. I have a little dish that I put lavender and eucalyptus in it. So I'm just smelling that.
And it's just that idea.
It's my meditation kind of relax mode. I love it. But the dry brushing is fantastic. Not only does it help, your lymphatic system is kind of the sewer removal process of the body. So and it does not move on its own. We have to manually get the lymphatic system moving. And so dry brushing does that. And not only does it help remove toxins from the body, and if you can do that every other day, 3 to 4 times a week, just like your infrared sauna. Do it before you go get into the infrared sauna. Maybe put your dry brush hanging by your infrared sauna. So it's a reminder to do that before you do that. But dry brushing gets everything moving. It's so, so good for the body, but it's also great for cellulite. So I don't know. I'm a woman that's got some cellulite on the body. As much as I exercise, I still have it. And it is fantastic in removing the cellulite.
So I want you to walk us through how to do the dry brushing. So if someone's never done that before, what do they need to do?
Okay, so first of all, you want a good dry brush, right? So you want natural bristles. So whatever feels good to you, it needs to be semi-firm, because it can't just be real soft on the skin. Your skin will be pink when you're done dry brushing. That's number one. And whatever feels good to you to use, but look them up, make sure they're natural bristles on the dry brush. This is how I start, and this is what I do. I've done some different readings. So I start down on my feet. Everything is done in 7s. So I go up to the shins, to the knees in the front, and just go all around from the top of the foot all the way up to the knee 7 times, going front, back, and so forth. I do both legs. Then I do from the knees up to the groin area in the front and the back 7 times on both legs. Then I go behind, everything is up towards the heart. So I start from, below the butt cheeks and on over, 7 times on each side, go up both sides of the back 7 times. Then I will come back to the arms. I'm going up the arms towards the shoulders, do both arms. Then I do clockwise motion.
And so describe a little bit more in detail. So as you're going in the bottom and you're moving your way up, are you doing straight motions up? Are you doing circular motions? What are you doing?
It's a straight motion up. It's a straight motion up, and you don't have to rub hard. Just put the brush on the skin. Trust me, you'll feel it. So it's just going to be a rubbing motion. I'm just taking the handle and I'm just brushing up. I'm firm against the skin, but I'm not pressing hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The stomach we want to do in a clockwise direction, because everything moves in a clockwise direction with our stomach and our digestive system. So we do the stomach. I do the back of the shoulders. You'll have to do what's easiest for you. Can you reach back there and kind of
You can get your spouse to do it. My husband, I'm telling you, he would be like, heck yeah, I will dry brush you all day long. Yeah. Put your hands up.
There you go. You're married, get your husband in there doing it with you. Absolutely. So, reach the best that you can. The arms, the stomach we've done. And then I go from the armpit down through the center. So I'm going to pull down and into the heart on both sides, 7 times. And then I start up here and go down towards the heart. That's the only time that we're going down in the body, is starting from the jawline down. Otherwise, we're always going up towards the heart.
Mm.
So that's
and the lymphatic system helps your body fight off infections. So fluids flow through your system and are filtered through your lymph nodes. So dry brushing they say it helps the body release toxins through sweat, and through the brush is going to stimulate the pores and open them up.
Yep. It's so good. And when we have pockets of cellulite, that's where toxins store in our fat. So, if we can do things that are going to help get the cellulite gone from our body, get the fat cells gone, then I'm all for that, because I don't want to be storing more toxins in my body.
Awesome. Well, this has been great. Is there any other things that you feel like are super important that we didn't touch on today that you want to leave listeners with?
Sure. So number one is just don't let yourself get down a rabbit hole. When we think about toxins, they're everywhere, and I get it. And I don't want to scare people, but let's take control of our energy. And you just start with the small steps. Do what you can do. And what you can do is control what's in your own home. We can't control anything else. So just make better choices for yourself in your home.
Awesome. And I would like you to talk about, since it sounds like you are it comes home for you, but you had said that your parents don't really subscribe to this. So what does someone do if their family members, even, I'm grateful that my husband, he is, I'm a super naturopath. I mean, I just like everything organic, and I don't like, and it's funny because one thing that we had to kind of meet in the middle on, because I had bought my laundry detergent that was, completely unscented. And me and him kind of went round and round on that one. Most things he's fine with, but he was like, I'm going to lay my foot down on this. He's like, I need a scent on my clothes. He's like, so use essential oil, use what you need to, but we're not doing unscented. And so we kind of had to compromise. But any good tips to kind of meet in the middle on certain things when you've got family members that are not in sync with your beliefs on this?
Oh, sure. Oh my gosh. So it's a struggle for me because I have a lot of family members who are not. I talked about my parents. My spouse, my husband, ascribes to about 70% of what I do, not the rest of it.
So what are the things he doesn't subscribe to? This will be good. We won't share this episode with him, by the way.
He doesn't listen anyway. It's all good. I mean, he supports what I do. He just, he uses an Old Spice body wash in the shower, which is, bleh, it's nasty,
Right.
But here's the thing. For years, I tried
and you're not going to want to hug on him and kiss him if he's got that Old Spice all over him. That's what you have to say to him. Because, there are some different ones like Jason's that, maybe all you have to do is kind of say to him, okay, let me find a couple other alternatives for you. And can we try this? And then say what's in it for him, right? Like if you switch to this body wash, I'm going to want to wash your body with it. I'm going to want to snuggle up closer with you, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing is there has to be a what's in it for them, right? People don't do things if there's not a benefit to them in doing it. So number one, for me, what I do is I can only control myself, right? Mm-hmm. I can't control what other people are doing. And so I can do things that are trying to get them to see things the way I am because it's, again, I can justify it because it's for their own good and for their own benefit and their own health. But if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. And so I have to let that go because otherwise it'll drive me crazy and it'll drive other people crazy too. I was that person for a long time that was like, oh, you have to do this, and this. And I don't want to be that person. It's like, listen, I live a healthy lifestyle. If you like what I do and how my life is, I'm happy to talk with you and I'm happy to share with you what I do. If you don't, that's okay too. Everybody gets their choice. But for me, it was letting go of it and understanding what I had control over. And then B, it is doing that. There's some things I won't compromise on, like you said. You had to come to a compromise with the laundry soap. There are certain things that I just won't do in the home, and I won't allow. And because I live such a toxin-free lifestyle, if he showers with that, I don't take a shower with him. That's one of the things I won't do. And the fan goes on so that when I get in there, I'm not met with that aroma, for myself, but I take care of myself in other ways too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And it's hard. It's so hard. It seems like the ones that we love the most and are closest to us are always the last ones to subscribe to our thoughts, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, this has been wonderful. You've been so much fun to be with today. Tell listeners how they can find you and where they can follow you.
You bet. So just go to my website. It's aimeecarlson.com, and my name is spelled AIMEECARLSON.com. And through there, you can connect with me. I do free 20-minute chats with people. I have a free toxic risk assessment. If you want to take that and see what your exposures are, you can connect into my podcast and also my Facebook group through there. So that's the best way.
Awesome. I love it. Well, you guys stay tuned. We have another episode coming up in just a minute. Bye-bye for now.